Hey fanboys, hey fangirls, Carnell Holley here, back for another review. This time for Black Lightning. Now, where to begin? Okay, just to give you a heads up, right now, since this is a weekly show, I'm not exactly sure if we're going to continue doing weekly episodes for Black Lightning, the reviews for episodes, because the gifted, between my schedule and my editor's schedule, we find it's a little difficult and we fall behind. We stay true to finishing out the season for season 1 of The Gifted. But for Black Lightning, express it down in the comments if you really want me to do this one, weekly episodes. I'm leaning towards it, just not sure. You let me know, okay? Okay, so just to give you a heads up, I'm going to give you some background information on the character for those that aren't the everyday comic book reader. Geek out on you just a little bit, you know, so you can have the info and enjoy the show even more. So, give you that. My take on the episode, what I felt about it, like I had the feels for the show, and you know, theory crafting on where I think the show is going to go. Now, bear with me. First appearing in Black Lightning, Issue 1, during the Bronze Age of comic books. He is a member of a fictional subspecies of humans born with superhuman abilities known as metahumans in the DC universe. Born Jefferson Pierce, he grew up in the disreputable South Side section of Metropolis, known as Suicide Slum. Returning to his hometown after an extended leave due to tragedy, Pierce becomes the principal at Garfield High School. Having suppressed his abilities since adolescence, he adopts his new alias and persona to combat the criminals and corrupt leadership in the area while protecting his loved ones from harm. He is capable of electrical manipulation and generation. Black Lightning is DC Comics' first African-American superhero, and the first to star in their own series for DC imprint. So a retired superhero becomes a vigilante for justice. Now, as you can see, I've worn the Flash shirt because I was going to wear a Black Panther shirt, but I'm like, it's Marvel, and I didn't want to ruffle any feathers of the purists that are DC lovers, and I'm just like, you know, because all of this hype for the Black Panther movie that is coming is trickling down for other superheroes such as Black Lightning. And since the big two, Marvel and DC, love to borrow from one another, it goes on, you know, like Green Arrow, Hawkeye, you know, so forth and so on. In this instant, I mean, and then on top of that, Flash on Tuesday, and then Black Lightning and the electricity and stuff like that. It just goes hand in hand. So, you see where my head's at. Alright, now, what to go on? Because I can only think of, as far as Luke Cage, how I felt about that show, and going into this show, it just seemed like it screamed black exploitation. You know what I'm saying? Black Lightning, you know, let you know that, like, it's a black show. But, is it really? Is it really? Now, I was a little apprehensive. I'm just like, I don't know. But within the first 5 minutes of the show, I was just like, a little on the fence on the costume. But, wow, it had my attention from the get-go. I was just like the imagery was like, okay, it has... He's going back to the hood, you know, I'm like, alright, you know, but the positive imagery to go with that, I'm just like, okay, I'm going with this. I'm going with it, because it's so different. And, you know, like, this hero who's gone through it. This is not a hero that's just becoming a superhero. Like, he's a veteran. And he retired for good reason. Like in the show, like he decides to put up the cape, so to speak, because he wanted to be a husband, a father, and his wife who eventually divorces him, and because she's just like, you're as bad as a crack addict, like why are you doing this? You're coming home bleeding and broken and close to death. I'm like, I don't want my babies to see this, and then, it's like, oh my goodness, like I get it, but then I'm like yo, stand by your I'm like, okay, but he is the principal of Garfield High. Like okay, like the students, and we're going to get into his daughters in just a sec, but the students who are, it's a upscale high school that, they're wearing uniforms. It kind of reminds me of like an anime, like a Japanese school and this and that. And even though they're in the hood and are surrounded by all this violence, like in the episode, he even goes to one of the, he's a gangster or whatnot, but he used to go to the school, and so there's this mutual respect for his, like, okay, Garfield High School is supposed to be this safe zone, this holy ground if this was Highlander. And like no matter what's going on outside the school, this school where people can have the hope, the students can have hope that there is a brighter tomorrow, okay? Their future is not determined by the violence that's happening around them. Like, they can get out and come back and build on the hood and make it better. You know what I'm saying? You don't just, there's a misconception that's just like, oh man, I come from this bad place, and then you leave and then you never come back. I mean, home is home, but that doesn't mean that you can't make your home better. And there's so many, because the messages, the little undertones that I'm like watching this, because they're just like yo, this is so speaking to me. And in comparison to all the other CW shows, in the representation of what they have, because Supergirl, like I said in another video, check that out when I was talking about Martian Manhunter, is that Supergirl has the female audience and the LGBT community, and Flash and Arrow. Arrow is real dark. It's supposed to be that Batman, and Flash is supposed to be that Superman, and Black Lightning just has this fusion of the two. Like it's dark and gritty, but the whole metahumans side and the light side, it's just so flowing into that Flash element. The Supergirl element, I mean, like Metropolis, he's in Metropolis, but I don't even remember if they mentioned that. So Pierce has 2 daughters with his former wife who are also metahumans. His eldest daughter, Anissa, known as Thunder, can increase her physique, rendering her almost indestructible, and create shockwaves by stomping the ground. Pierce's younger child, Jennifer, also a superhero known as Lightning, has powers almost identical to her father, though she is still inexperienced and not in full control of them. A common misconception is that Pierce is the father of fellow superhero Static, who debuted much later and possesses similar abilities. Pierce addresses this coincidence in a Justice League narrative. Alright, so his daughters. Like, his daughter, it's so funny. Going in with Anissa and Jennifer, like one of those instances, when you're the child of like a priest or the president, like, there always seems to be a tendency, like, they act out, like oh, they're usually the baddest one, especially the preacher's son, preacher's daughter, like yo, aren't you supposed to be like holier than thou? But no, they're acting out because maybe the pressure of trying to live up to these public figures, in which your principal, who is getting by a senator at this function that you see in the episode, and it's just like, yo, so his youngest daughter, Jennifer, who sneaks out, goes to this club that's full of gangsters, thugs, whatnot, and you know she's smoking, you know, just really what teenagers do, just trying to get some breathing room, and that's her reasoning after talking to her sister, just like, yo, you know, I'm like I'm the princess of the high school and this and that. I'm just like, oh, I'm not you. And speaking to her sister, Anissa, and I'm not dad. It's like, yo, but okay, you still got to do the right thing. And the older sister, she's somewhat better, but not, you know, she's at a protest and she gets arrested in the episode, and that's even the opening scene. So I was like, yo, and then them in the car getting stopped by the police, and then oh my goodness, it hits things that are going on in today's society, and it resonates so much. And that's part of the reason why it's just like, yo, I'm like, this is so true to life. Like, it has its superhero elements, like, okay, this is a superhero show. But then at the same time, like, it gets so real, like how violence, oh man, it's just like, it's surreal with this, and going off to that magical place, like, okay, superheroes do exist. Like, what if a superhero existed? And, you know, but this is metahumans, and, you know, this and that. So it goes back and forth. It flows, and you know, the realism of a father's love going to that club to get his daughter, and then all of a sudden it's just like he's come so close to getting pulled back in to becoming a superhero, and the actions of his daughter, and then the police, is just like he's had these flare-ups, and you can see it in his eyes, that, you know, it's just like it only takes one bad day, and it's just like, oh, it's Black Lightning time, you know. And so like it even showed this flashback to his original suit, and now he has this other suit, and I was a bit on the fence with the look of the suit, because it's just like, it's so flashy, but it goes with it in the sense that it's just like, okay, he does have electrical powers, it goes hand in hand, and just for future information, that he has this, he's able to generate force fields, which is the reason why when he gets shot, it doesn't penetrate him and stuff like that. So it's almost on that Luke Cage. And so there's a lot of comparisons going to be drawn to Luke Cage, and with good reason. But I'm just like, it's his own thing, and it so resonates, and it's just like I don't want to get too far ahead, because eventually they're going to have those crossovers, and I don't know who's going to cross over with who. You know, at this time, is he going to go straight to Arrow because it's gritty like that, but it's still metahumans, so it makes sense that, okay, maybe it'll go with the Flash because it comes on right after the Flash. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But let's not get away from Static. Now, I mentioned before, there's a common misconception, like, oh, he's the father, but he's not. He's a totally different character. Just to geek out on you, Virgil Static is from Milestone Comics, and that eventually got bought out by DC, and so eventually they rolled into the DC universe. But there is some other information that went behind the scenes, in which the reason behind these characters, like Icon and all these other characters, so it's like there's a little money issue. So they can't just bring out these characters all willy-nilly, like, oh, let's throw in Icon here, let's throw in Static here, let's throw in Rocket here, Hardware there, you know, oh man, there's so much, a lot of red tape basically. But you will see Static in Young Justice, the new season coming up. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. Oh man. So Cress Williams, who plays our hero, Black Lightning, I don't know too much as far as what his arch enemy is, like who's his rogues gallery. You know, as far as I know, it's not as extensive as Batman, but in the show, it's Tobias Whale, and he has this look like he's like a Kingpin, like literally Kingpin from Marvel. So I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes. It's almost like it again. It's a combination. I'll take that back. It's a combination of Cottonmouth and Kingpin. You put those two together and you get Tobias. Yeah, yeah, Tobias. Well, pretty much that is that's accurate. That is accurate. In more ways than one. So that's funny. So I want to see metahuman or metahuman violence. That's what I want to see. I want to see him go against, you know. But I guess again, there's levels to this, you know. And so he's taking on these gang members. All right, we're cleaning up the hood. Do that. Then you're going to take on the Kingpin, who's orchestrating this organized crime action. All right, do that. But then eventually, metahumans will come into play, and then it's just like, all right, now I got to up your game. Possibly that's when the daughters come in, because Anissa has displayed superhuman abilities by breaking the sink, which is so reminding me of Power Rangers when Jason did that in the movie. Wow. Did Toby? I'm thinking Toby might have. Spider-Man. I'm trying to remember if he did also. I don't remember. I don't think he broke the sink, but it did happen in Power Rangers. It did. I do remember that. But this show was totally awesome. And shout out to Amanda Davis, anchorwoman, based out of Atlanta, which the show, Black Lightning, is shot in Atlanta. The first episode, she passed away, R.I.P. And this episode was dedicated to her and her passing. So I was just like, wow. So, like, when I saw the episode and then they had the newscast, and I was just like, oh man, it's Amanda, because I didn't know that she was going to be on the show. And I distinctly remember hearing her passing on the radio one morning. I was like, dang, but she was an icon here. So wow, that's the episode. That's the review on it. That's how I felt. I'm like, man, let me know how y'all felt about it. Express it down in the comments. Like the video, share it with your friends, so we can continue the dialogue. Get these ratings up, you know, because I'm just like yo, we so needed this show, just to, you know, all about diversity. But it's not just about that. Like having these different stories, just broadening our view of like yo, because everybody has their fan base, and everything is all under the sun of the DC universe and whatnot. But I love the show, so feeling it. Can't wait for more. Like I said, express it down into the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, because I think I know what you're thinking, and I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but I'm just like yo, this was a hot show. I like where it's going. It's off to a good start, much like how The Flash was with the good writing. Like, it hit the road running because it had enough time to fine-tune that formula for Arrow to have that jumping off point for Flash. And now the Flash is going to hand off that baton to the Black Lightning. So, till then, Carnell, Holley, signing off. Hey, don't forget to click that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe, click the bell for the latest notifications on videos, and if you're trying to reach me on social media, just Google Carnell Holley. I pop up.